Hello, Carolina Crown. This is George Hopkins watching Nashville. Probably sick and tired of my commentary. I've tried tonight to be less specific and more generic, I think, in terms of commentary. I mean, folks like you know what you're going to do or not do over the last days, week. I guess you got about a week after this, really, where you can do things. Point of no return. Seems like there's different ideas regarding all that, but I think one thing we know is it's not a good. He or she is not a positive making their way down the ramp there. You know, I'll tell you when y'all came to this, I'm sure based with that horn line and everything, you had this vision that walk on would have the crowd's attention, the brass would sound just perfect, beautiful, and it would be enough to carry you. And I don't know that it is. I have in my past done things like that with that same intention. People don't have the attention span, I think, to maintain what we sometimes envision. Percussion taking things over as we move our way around visually. I'm not too sure about the single run out. There was a point for all that. That one brass player that came charging forward. Good job, brass line. A little touch of Carmina there. Yep. Yeah, good job, color guard. Very impactful brass. You know, one thing I noticed, and I don't think I've ever spoken about in terms of the percussion, you tend to keep the percussion as an ensemble. I see now that there's individuals that pop out all the time. I have no idea. The Blue Devils actually just had something like that. I kind of got theirs, the Gathering idea. I'm not too sure about the intention for you folks yet. But anyway, nice playing there, bass drums. Great day crescendo. Good sound effects. Pass through the color guard. This is all good. It certainly sets the mood. The anger, the tension, dissonance, all good. Oh, I was saying that you always keep the percussion line as an ensemble, as a block. I'm exaggerating, but... And I would probably never have noticed a few years ago, but these days it seems like a variation of use is maybe the way to go. Trumpets certainly get my attention in the block, and I look over to the right with the brass. Good. Color guard has the rest of the field. I still don't really know what the props... I do represent I do get that they're evil, they're not good, but that's about... If there's something more, then I'm just out to lunch. Could be. Yeah, good stage for the color guard. Rifle center stage between the brass. Yeah, nice interaction between the front ensemble and the brass there. Well done. Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Good. Good timing on the last toss. I don't remember the, I guess we'll call it the sample. Good. Good job with the gymnastics. I say that with love in my heart. I kind of redefined articulations for brass lines over the years. Good job. Switch it to the half. Not a lot to look at. Maybe it doesn't matter, but yeah, very small steps. There is not a lot to look at, honestly. Yeah, through that last 40 seconds, you're really just trying to carry it with the brass line. Color guard, as with some of the color guards, there's so many color guard, and there's so many, so they're so talented, and they're tossing so much, it starts to wear a little thin, I think, in terms of just my experience or people's experience, if I'm speaking for us all. Move to the blocks. Or the circles, I guess. Sorry. Kind of a little prance move. Kind of seems obvious we're clearing the stage here for the guard. There's the drum line still in that block. See what I mean? Open it up a little bit here. I mean, I think the thing would have been, I mean, you're going to write to what people write. You're going to write visually to what people write musically. Maybe it was to do more from a segmental standpoint so that things could get mixed up a little bit. See, I get concerned a little bit with these follow the leaders where, sure, we're moving, but what? It's not contributing to the effect. It's just moving. Opening up the form. Good here. Hey, now that's good. That's all good. I mean, it feels like we could have done more. Yeah. Yeah. We were on our way. It feels like we could have done more to finish that off. Would have generated. I mean, we had an opportunity to generate a roar, a jump up out of the stands, and we lost it when we decided to follow the leader again to the end and kind of arc it up. My opinion. Single horn player on the loose. Yeah, there's more, I guess. Okay. Kind of one to each group, maybe. I think this is where the judging, not the system, but judging preferences have kind of grabbed hold of us, where we feel a need to do things maybe like that. It almost feels required to me. Maybe a notch down from required right now. You just go back a few years, like the days of the band body. If you didn't do it, you were in trouble, so you just did it, whether or not it made any sense or not. A little bit tougher to sell a ballad of this sort, lyrical moment, when the guard's already been front and center for such a long time. So now, with maybe slower movement, a little more dance orientation. But where's the emotional tug? I see the duet over here, but barely to the right do I see it. I see it now because I see it. Oh, there's another. Oh, there's 3 or 4 groups. Yeah, where is the focus? What is going to make me tear up or have my heart aflutter? I don't know. It's all well done, don't get me wrong. But when you're trying to pull effect numbers, you have to grab hold of people's hearts, not just their minds. Percussion front and center, that block thing, just telling you, it just catches my eye because not everyone does that anymore. Actually, you're one of the few. Yeah, there's no real moment in this percussion feature. It's kind of a quasi-transition, but it takes a little bit of time. So there was really nothing to hang on to there for quite a bit. Still not a lot to hang on to. Nice back and forth there, brass. Good impact there, front to back. Good. Color guard not really participating in any of that. Waiting for the tosses. Back to Carmina, yep. And nice job of percussion writing there on the quasi-retardando. And there's our Angel of Death, or whoever it may be. I know this is all rewritten. Again, you're not going to generate effect out of tossing rifles. There's been too many tossed, and you're not the only ones. It's almost passé now. Right, so you have to rely on movement here, which you can do. You have the people to do it. But we're stopping for the dissonance and all that, and then we go into the freeform run, which is not going to generate effect. Oh, great time for my camera to freeze, or their camera to freeze. Oh, we go to a commercial. Well, I think I'm pretty sure what happens in there is we're done, right? Are we going back? I guess we did, right? Not great timing for flow marching. Yeah, I mean, the freeform, all that, dissonance, all that, everything, all that. It's just not going to get people up on their. Yeah, they're going to get up at the end. Stop. They're going to get up at the end because it's the end, but you need to get them up before that. I mean, particularly where you're at, if you want to, over the next 10 days, get people on your side, I say you would have to rewrite that to get on the fly, to be moving, doing things that nobody else can do. You have the people to do it. It's going to be a pain in the butt. But there's a whole lot of work going on and a whole lot of talent going on, and to let it sit at the end like that, I think, is not in your best interest. Some of this is just activity-wise. You can't chuck rifles and You just can't do it anymore and generate effect. There used to be a time where you could put an 8-count silence in, throw a 6, catch it, and the place went crazy. Not anymore. Now you can throw a 12 and catch it in your teeth, and it's still not enough. It's just too many good color guards, and they're all looking about almost the same. And there's a ton of you out there. So it's a tough act. It's a tough act. I think it really does get down to generating effect in a coordinated fashion between whatever the visual is and the musical lines and the percussion. The percussion can't be just filling holes. It can't be moving around as a block. It just can't. They just can't. There's too many people that don't do that. There's too many explorations of other stuff going on. And some of it is effective. Don't get me wrong. Some of it's not. Some of it is. And that's, I think at the end of the day, it should win out because you're also very talented when you get up to the top here. All right, folks. See ya.